Hi there, guys. This is Claude.
And I'm Clinton, and we're the Lamest Defenders. On this week's We've Got Issues, Claude looks at the history of the Marvel Universe, finishes up Spiderman City at War, and I check out Guardians of the Galaxy number 8, and Powers of X keeps on rolling.
Well, let's see if any of these bad boys are any good. Welcome back, guys. On today's episode, as you watched Clinton
lovingly recap.
The first issue that I want to talk about for this week's episode is Spider-Man City at War. So this is issue 6 of 6, and they've been coming out probably once a month or so, and it kind of feels really slow to get to this point.
Drawn out.
And if you're unfamiliar with this comic line, it's basically just a straight retelling of what happened in the Spider-Man PS4 game, which is excellent.
Yeah, I liked it. I thought it was a great game.
It's an amazing story,
Great story.
With the game. With this comic, I can't really get into too many details because it's the final issue and this is the end of the game. Yeah. I know most comic book fans have probably already played this, but just in case you have an Xbox or a PC or a Switch and you never played the game, I don't really want to get into the nitty-gritty of it, but for me, as someone who's played the game multiple times, it was just like, okay, cool. And I understand the need for it because the art's really cool. And as I said before, the story's really great. So I wouldn't recommend this to anybody that actually played the game and remembers it. Because, at $3.99, you get the best telling of the story when you actually play the game. But somebody that a little bit older, doesn't play video games or perhaps doesn't have a PlayStation, I would recommend it. Okay. So, cool. It was pretty good. And then soon, actually, on the 28th, so our next review, they're doing a special comic based on the ugliest suit in the Spider-Man PS4 game.
Is that what it's called? The ugly suit?
Yeah, basically, the Velocity suit.
Okay.
And that's apparently going to be original story, so I'm looking forward to it. So
that'd be kind of cool. And it's not based on the DLC from the game. Okay, that's cool. So, would you recommend this as a trade, or would you say go out hunt the single issues?
Oh yeah, well, hunting the single issues, like when I went to the comic book store, even today they didn't have many. There was only 2 left after I picked one up. So I guess if you're looking to read this, maybe try to buy the issues online, or like you said, just get the trade paperback when it, definitely. They're going to release one.
Sure. Yeah. Well, I did something a little different this week. I wanted to read Guardians of the Galaxy. I didn't know it was written by Donny Cates. Yeah. Who is writing Venom as well, and the Absolute Carnage event,
which is amazing.
Claude is currently reading.
Yeah.
So I picked this up kind of on a lark, if you will.
A lark.
And I was incredibly surprised. I actually really liked it. I want to go pick up a trade of the first 6 or 7, of this, because this is really good. It's not your typical Guardians. I'm just going to read the roster off real quick. It's Star-Lord,
Who?
Star-Lord, Phyla Vale, Moondragon, Beta Ray Bill, and Gamora.
It is a weird
Groot's
team.
There too. Yeah. It's a different team, but it works really well. Because it's just expanding on a character. Like Beta Ray Bill is the horse-looking Thor, basically.
They need to have him in the next movie.
So it's kind of cool. It's just that's really neat. I didn't expect that. So basically the story is the Universal Church of Truth is... Their common theme is to bring back Adam Warlock.
Okay.
And... I won't go too far into spoilers because this event just started. This issue, Faithless, this is the title of this particular issue, and it's number 2 of 6.
Okay.
So it's a pretty expansive event for just one single comic book line. It's kind of cool. You have 6 issues for House of X and Powers of X each, but this is all just self-contained in this story, which is kind of nice and refreshing, honestly. It gets into the...
So it's an event inside the Guardians of the Galaxy comic book that's already happening.
It's already in this book.
Okay, cool.
You don't need to worry about anything else. At least
there's no tie-ins or anything?
Yeah, not yet. Thankfully.
What?
I know.
They must have watched our last video about Absolute Carnage.
Word's getting out.
Yeah, they published quick on that.
So, but it's the tragic background of Rocket Raccoon. So anyone watching this and you want to know how Rocket became Rocket, definitely pick this up.
That's awesome.
Because it shows him, I'm not spoiling anything, but it's in the first few pages, but he was basically bred as a kind of like a service animal. And then he was used as basically a guiney pig for these scientist robots.
Right.
Hear me out. Yeah.
Yeah.
and then that's when they transform him into Rocket Raccoon. But he actually looks, the way he's drawn, he looks really cute. He's like this little, just furry, like he looks like a raccoon, but it's obviously not.
Yeah.
But they don't know what a raccoon is. Right. I'm half world. But yeah, it's awesome. Like I definitely recommend pick this up, start this series. Actually, start the issue before. Try to get 7 if you can. Again, online or in store. And start this. This is really good.
So my second issue for this week is History of the Marvel Universe, and it's written by Mark Waid, who's obviously been
around a while.
Yeah, great writer. And in my previous review for the first one, I said, I don't know how they're going to stretch this out to 6 issues. Because in the first one, it was like all the cosmic, like how the universe began. Yeah. And then just randomly it starts in the 40s on Earth now. Like at the beginning of... really, they focus on the mutants for a little bit, and then it goes into World War II. Basically, you have all these B-list superheroes that were trying to fight, the Nazis. Which, I mean, most of the work was Captain America and Bucky.
Yeah.
That's who you know. And after that, it's slow. It's a $4.99 comic, and it's pretty big. So it kind of drags on a little bit for this. And eventually, towards the end, it tells, some history with the Mandarin, and it eventually works up to the Vietnam War. And it tells a little bit about Nick Fury and the Howling Commandos.
Okay.
In World War II. I'm sorry. So let's back up real fast. So the coolest part, my favorite part in the comic is really ask the question if Nick Fury would have, in the Howling Commandos, because they're freeing all the concentration camp prisoners, and they beg the question if... if they didn't miss one, because they did miss one, and it was actually the concentration camp that Magneto was housed in. Yeah. Could Magneto eventually turn into a better person and not so rage-fueled?
But humanity so much.
Exactly. So that was really cool just for them to address that.
That's cool. Yeah.
And then, so then it does eventually work its way to the Vietnam War. It tells a little bit about Ben Grimm's background with the military, with Rhodey, and then it really just ends off with they're going to tell a little bit more about the Fantastic Four and their powers, and Doctor Doom a little bit in the next issue. So I would say this one wasn't as good as the first one, because the first one really answered some questions I had. This one was just okay. Yeah. So I still would love to see this only be like a 4-issue thing. I mean, 6 seems really long. Yeah. But, honestly, this is all backstory for people. So I would say if you're a hardcore Marvel fan, definitely pick it up just so you have that stuff you can reference later then.
Yeah. So Marvel started off with the X-Men event as House of X1, Powers of X1. They were alternating.
Right.
Now Powers of X has had 2 weeks in a row, which is good, because Powers of X2 was very convoluted. Yeah. It was, you read it recently too. It was not, it was kind of, it's tough to follow this sometimes.
I was like, what?
They're weaving a lot of threads here. It's just like, where is this going? So thankfully some of it was answered this week.
Okay.
Again, it's like, there is really nothing to say that will not be a massive spoiler, basically.
Okay.
But thankfully, it's kind of old news that Moira McTaggart is now a mutant. So that's been out for a couple weeks.
Yeah.
This focused on her gift, her power is reincarnation. and she has full consciousness of the previous life.
Right.
She knows exactly what happened. She knows what to do. So it's basically a much more in-depth Groundhog Day. Basically, she is now the mutant's secret weapon. There is the advanced AI Sentinel Nimrod is very heavily...
That's the dumbest name. Oh,
he's very heavily featured in this one, too. Right. He was in the previous issue as well. I will say, though, Nimrod, he has the personality of a human in this.
I love the character. I
love
him
in this. Yeah. Like, in this, he is so much fun. He is just like he's so like, oh, we don't want to hurt you, guy. Yeah. Like, we don't want to do that. And then he'll just brutally murder people. He is so he's over the top. Right. It's great, honestly. One of the X-Men's arch nemesis is now in charge. But, well, it's Apocalypse. There's no other way. Like, it's Apocalypse.
Yeah.
He is eternal. He's still going. This is set 100 years in the future. And the interesting thing is that Wolverine is one of his horsemen now.
Yeah.
It's war. And very, very vital to Apocalypse's success. So it's just really cool. I almost wish they had more of a backstory for that. There is one problem.
Hey, another tie-in.
Yeah. Oh, there will be, I'm sure. The only thing I wish they had, or they did not do with this, they are explaining Jonathan Hickman likes to do a lot of, I don't want to say filler pages because it's necessary to the story, but a lot of just text.
Yeah.
Some of those pages are just one line straight through, and that's it. Like, it's a line. It's like you're following this timeline, and everything else is just white. So it's just like you're paying for 3 to 4 white pages, and that really sucks. Like, I don't like that. It's kind of annoying.
It feels like artificially, like you're saying, like to bump up the page count so they could justify the price, which is already, if you're buying this every week, you have 2 comics to buy, and it's just it gets a little out of hand. And
it does. But yeah, it's. I don't care for that. I know what they're doing. I understand what they're doing.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
Right.
I cannot like it. It's a much, much better issue than issue 2. I definitely like, if you're already in it for this long, you just got to see it through now at this point. Like,
let us know in the comments what you guys picked up this week, or if you guys have any questions for us about the comics that we bought, just let us know. Yeah. And thanks.
If there's anything you want us to review, we will gladly do so.
Yeah. So thanks so much, guys, for watching. Please hit like and subscribe, and we will see you very soon.
Stay lame.
Bye.